Well team, we are approaching the end of the month, which means it's time for a monthly reset. A very timely time for the reset too, because I'm feeling like a scatterbrained mess right now, which is not an ideal way to start the new month. My office kind of looks like it was hit by a truck. I have a lot of things that I need to get done, and I'm not too sure when I'm going to do them. So I really need to get clear, get current, all of the other stuff that we get when we do the monthly reset. Yes. The first thing I'm going to need to do though is get out of bed. That's my least favorite step. Of course, as per our last reset, I have pre-written myself a list of the steps that I want to take today. So I did that last night so that I could effectively wake up and go this morning. It's a shame I didn't get to bed until after midnight last night, otherwise I'd be much more inclined to go. But I do know that this is effectively a self-care thing. The reset helps me be my best self in the month to come, like start it running. The first category on the list though is the physical space reset, and in particular today I want to focus on this mess and also my bedroom because it's just getting a little bit out of order. Time to put on my playlist and get started. We love a good time-lapse tidy. I've actually come to realize that I super enjoy time-lapse tidies. It's just nice to see it go from like a complete mess to somewhat more organized in a small space of time. The actual time taken to do this was substantial. I'm thinking something like 45 to 50 minutes. That's because anytime I'm tidying, I constantly get distracted by my stuff and end up just kind of like falling into a rabbit hole of sitting down with something and exploring that item or collection of items, rather than actually putting things away like I'm supposed to. During our last monthly reset, one of the things that I put away was my external hard drive, and I actually had to watch the footage back to find where I put it. Making sure that when we're tidying, we're putting things in the homes that they belong. Probably a good idea. My external hard drive didn't technically have a home, so when I put it away, I didn't know where I'd put it. At least we had video evidence of where it had ended up. I also remember that last time we did the monthly reset, I talked about how I need to declutter my office, and this is still something that I want to do. I'm hoping that I can get it done at some point in October, but October's kind of looking pretty full at the moment, so it might be a November job, but it is something that is on my radar. The office is looking a lot better. I mean, it is in no way, shape or form completely finished, but I still need more office storage, guys, and to do an office declutter, so this is as good as it's gonna get. We of course have the You Don't Belong Here pile, and you may recall some familiar faces from last time we did this. Haha! Jess never actually got around to taking the rubbish out. She thought, hey, maybe I'll use these boxes someday. But they've just been sitting here, so I'm obviously not using them, so their time to go is now. This stack is here because I am filming a video with them later. These are materials that I'm using for another video so they can stay out. Normally it'd be about this stage that I take the rubbish out, but honestly there's not really like that much in the bin. I've still got like a lot of space, so I'm just gonna leave it for now. Also, I'm doing filming later today and I know I'm gonna need to put things in the bin, so I'll probably just empty it after that. Now it is time to wander around the house and write the home cup list. So looking for things around the house that kind of need to be done, stuff that I might have been neglecting, any little issues or bothers, because a lot of the time when I walk around my house and I notice these things, I don't have anything to write on, and by the time I get back to my journal, I forget them. So let's go do a wander. Need to deal with that box of shit. Need to put that blanket away still. Doing some organizing in here before mum and brother come, that would be a good idea. This entire room we're gonna have a look at in a second, so we will ignore him for now. Need to put away this extension cable. These things belong to brother and Matt, so they will collect them later this week. Need to put away those cables, obviously. Everything on that box, and my laptop. Table's looking a little bit like a dumping ground right now, so I probably need to put that stuff away. Ah! Wow, Vogel appeared. We have our home cup list, and it's a nice and short one. I probably could think of more things to add to it, but honestly, I don't really want to. I've got enough on my plate right now, so a little list is fine. Now though, we're gonna go and do a physical reset of our bedroom, because as I said, it's just getting a little bit cluttered, a little bit messy. I'd like to tidy it up a bit. Main things I need to deal with are my bags from the trip that we just had this weekend, and also my clothes on the floor. Could probably use a vacuum as well. There's not really a lot I can do about the elliptical because it's kind of living in here, so it's out of the spare room so that brother/mother can use that room. With the elliptical in there, it just seems a little bit tight, so we've got it in here for now, but eventually it shall move back to its rightful home in the spare room. Alrighty, let's get into it. Some of the things that I'm tidying up as part of this bedroom reset have been neglected for a while. That big green suitcase that's sitting on the bed, that's been there since my last trip to Melbourne, which was in April. I think that Vogel is very relieved that I'm finally putting it away. I'm just not one of those people who usually gets home from a trip and instantly puts their stuff away. That's just like a whole new brand of human. I would love to know, are you the kind of person who kind of procrastinates on putting their stuff away after a trip? Or do you like to get everything back where it belongs as soon as possible? Maybe I'll be that type of person one day, but it's not in my current nature. But the bedroom is looking much better now, and I'm feeling much more at peace with it, and Vogel says he is happy too. Again, we have the obligatory pile of stuff that doesn't belong in here, and I'm gonna go put that away now, because otherwise I won't, and it'll just sit here and be a nuisance. And I'm gonna do it at the same time as I tidy up this stuff as well and return it to its forever home. I just have a hard time throwing out boxes. They could be useful one day. To make it easier for myself, I've at least split it into the pile of things that belong upstairs and the pile of things that belong downstairs, so I don't have to do as many trips. See? Smart. Proof to show you that the things have indeed been put away, but now it is time for the physical reset of me. Which is good because I feel absolutely disgusting right now. So I'm very much in need of a shower, hair mask, face mask, full body scrub, all of the good things. We talked about it last time, but remember we do this after the physical space reset because the physical space reset requires me to like move around, get hot, bothered, and sweaty. So there's no point in doing all the nice self-care-y things and then getting all gross afterwards. Get gross first, then get clean. Yeah, life lessons. We're using the same two products as last time, so the Redken All Soft Heavy Cream for my hair and the Cora Organics Turmeric Brightening and Exfoliating Mask for my skin. This stuff happens in the shower, so I'm gonna go do that and I'll come back to you in a second. Mid-shower interlude to say, when the instructions on your exfoliators say don't put them near your eyes, please follow that instruction, because last time I got a little too close. Not this time, this is fine. The last time I got a little too close and I ended up with grit in my eye, and it was one of the most painful things ever. So don't do that. Just do yourself a favor and follow the instructions. Anyways, we need to wait like 15-ish minutes for this and that, and then we can wash it all off and we'll be beautifully fresh and clean and and here, back in the shower because I'm dripping on the floor now. Out of the shower though now and into my bathroom drawer, which honestly also needs a declutter, but that is a job for another day. Putting on all of my nice face creams to feel nice and fresh and ready to tackle the rest of the reset and the rest of the day. Last time I actually did something with my hair, but today I'm just gonna leave it to air dry because the type of filming that I'm doing later today doesn't need me to have my hair done. Before we get on with the rest of the reset though, I am gonna put the towel washing on. Not technically part of the reset itself, but it's Tuesday, so it's towel washing day. Taking a break for lunch though, because I haven't eaten yet today and I'm famished. Now as lunch is finished, we're into the digital and planning reset. Digital reset first though. So this is things like inbox zero, tidying up my downloads folder, my desktop, that kind of stuff. Otherwise entropy seeps in and then I can't find anything, which is not ideal. For this part, the playlist comes back so that I have some distraction from what's otherwise kind of boring tasks, but I do know that once it's done, I feel so much better about working on my computer because things feel clean, they feel tidy, I know where to find stuff, etc. The next part of the reset is to do the budgeting update, which, because I am me, entails actually putting things into my budget and then looking at the budget breakdown and comparing the categories, all of that kind of stuff. Thankfully, the actual inputting of data doesn't take too long because most of the stuff we pay for, we use our EFTPOS cards, debit cards, yada yada yada. So I just need to download that information from our bank statements and then put it into my tracker. The tracker that I use for our finances, I do have available for purchase on my website, and there's a link to that in the description box below. But effectively it just has a simple finance log style section where you put in all of your spending in each of the different categories that you're tracking. And then on the overview tab, you can see how much you've spent in each of the categories come the end of the month. I mean, technically you can look at it at any time of the month, but I usually look at it at the end of the month. Now as I've actually logged all of my finances, so spending, income, etc., it's time to have a look at my categories this month and their totals compared to my categories last month and possibly the month before. Disclaimer, of course, Vogel and I are sharing expenses, so these aren't just my expenses. All of these are in New Zealand dollars. If you do have any questions about any of it though, let me know in the comments below. But let's have a look at what we spent money on this month. Starting with our first category being groceries. So we spent $907 on groceries this month, which is a little bit less than we had last month, which is kind of nice. But if we look at the other food related category, our food out expenditure went up from $580 to $850-ish dollars. That is still less than we had in July though, so that's still good. It's kind of middle of the pitch compared to those last 2 months, so that's okay. Our fuel expenses did shoot up again, and that's because we actually did a lot more driving around. We went up to Hastings and that was a full tank there and a full tank back, so that makes sense. And we've been doing a couple more trips into town because we've been going out a little bit more, which also makes sense with the food expenditure costs. If we have a look at entertainment though, that one has gone down because last month Vogel bought himself a new computer, so that was a large expense and we didn't have that this time around. And our transport costs went up to $245. What is that from? Okay, we've got a bunch of things there. We've got things like flight changes, buying oil for the car, we've got some train passes, yeah, a bunch of little bits and pieces. The flight changes in particular did bump that one up, and I'm so frustrated because if I had just checked my damn calendar, that one wouldn't have happened, but we live and we learn. We didn't have any spending on gifts this time around, and our spending on home and household compared to last month is like a third of the cost. So from $300 almost dollars to just a little over $100, so that's pretty good. Our expected bill total decreased as well, but that's because we didn't have 3 cycles of home loan repayments, which does make a fair bit of a difference. And we also didn't have things like the rates or insurance, stuff like that. And our unexpected bill total went up. What was an unexpected bill? Ah, yes, customs. One of my orders coming in for our Trinolive was hit with a customs charge of almost $100, which was super great. Not really. But that's okay, learnt my lesson on that one as well. This meant that our total expenses for this month compared to last month was down by about $6,000, which is pretty sweet. If we can keep it low for the rest of the year, that would make me happy. Now as the budgeting is done though, it's time for my planner reset, which is kind of always my favorite part. I just like pottering around in my planner, doing some reflection, stuff like that. Changing to the top-down view means that we are now on the better microphone. Hello, voice quality. Anywho, because we have this decoration down the bottom and the header, I'm probably going to start my review as close to the top as possible, just so that we actually have enough space for everything. And as I typically like to do, I'm going to be starting with my wins. We like to start with the positive things. The nice part about this is that I've been doing weekly reviews as well, so after each of my weeklies, I've been doing a little kind of reflection at the end of it. This one I only did goals, but the next one I did goals and planning, so I can effectively flip through these to jog my memory about what things were wins for the month. So a couple of wins here, things like actually filling in my energy tracker. I am a couple days behind, but I've been pretty good at actually keeping up with this one. Trying out new journal size, new layouts, getting my 101 things done. Not all of them, but some of them, which is still good. So some trips away with Vogel, like we had our anniversary, and then we went to Hastings for a wedding, and a couple of other fun things. Now on to challenges. So some of the challenges we have here are things like my focus during work hours in particular. Also, finding my work fun, which in itself is not so much an issue, but it means that when it comes to switch off time or like time to stop work, I don't want to. So I just keep working. Also just a lack of clarity around some of my priorities and that kind of stuff. In the next section though, I'm going to rewrite my goals and just do kind of like a little check-in with them to make sure I'm still going to be working on them, which, spoilers, I am. And down the bottom, I think this last place will just be for some notes about those goals and how I want to approach them in the month ahead. So just a cute little September in review page. I think I probably would have liked to have a full spread for it, but this looks like a good little summary. The next thing I actually want to do before I start populating the rest of my planner is a brain dump. And I think for today, I'm gonna do my brain dump digitally. Just because I don't really have a lot of space in this journal. I do want it to at least last for October and November. I'm not too sure if I'll fit December in here, but I don't want to take up any more pages than I need to. So the brain dump, onto Word. My brain dump has about 40 items on it, so I'm feeling good about that. Now it's time to populate my October layouts. So the projects list needs populating, my monthly log needs populating, and I also need to populate my actions list. So starting at the start, very good place to start, projects. My projects list is one of the pages that has been a really good new addition to my journal this year. It's kind of nice just to have a go-to space for all of the main things that I need to get done in the month, and having it up front means that I get to appreciate my cover page more, which is nice. These ones we're not filling in on camera because spoilers, same with these ones. And down the bottom here, not too sure what I'm going to use this for, maybe projects that are like around the house, or I might put my 101 things list items. Something like that. Flipping over to our monthly log though, we do need to go and put in our events here. These are all the things that I'm aware of at the moment, so we've got a couple of work things, a couple of social things, some birthdays, that kind of stuff. But flipping over to my actions list, I think I'm gonna need to do a brainstorm before I just put it straight onto paper. So, well, onto this paper. Let's get another piece of paper for the brainstorm. First of all, probably good to mark things off on here. So the reset didn't happen, the review is happening. Collect content ideas. It's one of those things that I need to do, I just haven't gotten around to it. Time blocking my calendar I haven't done. Content ready for next week. That one is like a pipe dream. It's something I really have to work on. Complete a 101 things task. We haven't done that yet. The review is happening. Reset. Well, that's for this week, so I can't actually tick it off yet. Yeah, so that's okay so far. In terms of my one-off tasks that I selected for this month, I haven't actually done any of them. So really, the question is, do I want to keep them? Selecting my priority 101 things I do want to do. Drafting the timelines. I feel like it's something I want to do, but I don't think it's a priority for right now, so that might be something I transfer to my one day, someday maybe future me problems kind of list. So, draft timelines. In terms of the daily tasks, daily leisure, scheduling and posting, reviewing, finishing by 7 and setting tomorrow's intentions, I think I'm going to keep all of those ones because they've all been good, you know. I've done them to varying extents. I've been tracking them on my weekly logs rather than as part of that page back there. So up the top here, you can see some of them I'm doing pretty good with, like posting and scheduling, setting intentions, varied success, but we'll put all of those down on the list. And I think all of the weekly ones, collecting content ideas, I feel like I could move that to be a one-off rather than a weekly, because I effectively just end up saving the emails that kind of help me generate those ideas, and I could just do it all at once as like a batched task, and I feel like that would be better. So weekly reset and weekly review though, I do want to keep those. Time blocking I also want to keep, but I might move that to be a daily item instead, because I kind of find it hard to time block my calendar in advance for the week. Things change and I don't necessarily know in advance what's going to happen. Completing 101 things, so we can keep that there. This is why we did it on the messy paper first. Content for next week ready. I No, but I think that get ahead by 1 week would be nice. And start project list. That sounds good. Alrighty, so we can transfer those things into my actions list. And this is why when I set up my October setup, I didn't want to put in each of the different sections ahead of time because I wasn't too sure how many things I was going to have in each area. So, makes sense. Doing these resets with you and actually filling in my actions list before the month starts has been so super helpful. I mean, individually those things are helpful, but I think it's kind of nice to share with you as well. If you do enjoy the reset content, make sure to let me know by giving the video a thumbs up though. I'm not sure if we're going to keep this as a regular thing, but so far I'm enjoying it. And there we go, so we've got the actions list all filled in, ready to be used. The monthly log has been populated, and the projects list has mostly been populated. Not too shabby, we're feeling reset. My office is tidy, the bedroom is tidy, I have my finances in order, my digital space is tidy, and I have a clearer picture of what's happening next month and what I need to get done, which is always a plus. Now I should probably go do some more filming that I have to do today. If you were looking for more reset content though, be sure to check out the playlist that we have on the screen here, or if you were just looking for bullet journal ideas in general, the one down the bottom is where it's at. As always team, thank you for watching, and until next time, bye! Well team, we are approaching the end of the— oh god, I look like I'm naked. Okay, we'll put that there so then people know I'm not naked.